Sure. So, I mean, and I think this is kind of a rule for any role or position that somebody might look into. But I mean, one of the keys to life, whether it's work or relationships, is just clear communication, right? A mistake that I have learned to not do is don't think a problem will fix itself or you're just going to figure it out and kind of push it to the side and be like, we're going to figure this out and not tell the borrower, right? So I've only done it once, and one other, just learn from your mistakes, y'all. But it's pre-approving somebody and not knowing that they can 100% get to the closing table. That was years ago, and you'll only do it once if you're a good loan officer. I mean, it's there's mortgages. The regulations change every day, and there's 100 different loan programs. There's conventional GSEs, government subsidized entities, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, HUD-backed loans, VA, USDA, portfolio lending. So it's really just taking your time to go through the process, reading the guidelines, knowing where to look before saying, yes, you can go buy this house, right? So the mistake I've learned is maybe moving too quick. I am purposefully slow and diligent on the front end now because I want, when I hand you this paper saying you can go buy a house, you can go buy the house, right? So I think in a kind of give me an answer now world that we live in and instant gratification, and I make $80,000, why can't you just give me a piece of paper?
Yeah.
There's a lot of it's heavily regulated, heavily compliance oriented. Half the cost of a loan is because of compliance. So it's slowing down, taking the time, reading through the guidelines, and making sure you cross your or cross your T's, dot your I's, right? So slowing down, setting people up for success, and not just being super quick has been a pretty integral part in kind of how I've shifted just my workflow.
Yeah, no, I think, a great piece of information over there is um, I think there's two parts to that. So, one, first and foremost, communication. Even if you make a mistake or even if something's not going the way that you believe it's going, like if you communicate that, 99% of people are more than understanding versus leaving them in the dark. And then number two, patience. Patience is key. Don't just say something, always. And I feel like early on in my career, I used to always want to give an answer up front, but it's so much smarter to just be like, hey, let me think this through, or maybe let me talk to my teammates, and let's see what we can do about this. So I'm sure you've learned that exact same thing in your
Sure,
career.
sure. Yeah, and just on the communication aspect, right? Like it is always much worse in your head than just go ahead and telling the person as it is because it's fixable most of the time. But it's always worse to just sit on it and then like the person's going to be understanding, right? I mean, some people are a jerk.
Yeah.
If you're a normal human with a little bit of empathy, you'll react well and appreciate that someone's being honest.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And like you said, going from kind of the back office audit, which I think auditing is like watching paint dry, so kudos to you for doing that. Going from that to now being the VP of residential lending at your bank, what is your day to day actually involved now, and how has it changed throughout the years?
Sure. So I'll just start with what it used to be. It was going to a cubicle, reviewing loan files, making sure the numbers add up. Is it down to the penny? Did we overcharge here? Do we owe somebody a check? Is this loan going to be saleable? Which majority of loans are sold to a bigger bank or turned into a mortgage-backed security with those big GSEs I'm talking about. So that was very much cubicle, 9 to 5, back office. Underwriting allowed me to learn the process, like what's an approval, et cetera. And then I moved to a loan officer assistant where you're very much a punching bag, if you will, right? Like you have the borrower, the attorney, the real estate agent, the homeowner's insurance, all asking for updates, and it helps keep you on your toes and really learn that customer focused aspect. And then from there, you go into origination, which is VP of residential lending is a fancy title for origination, right? And it's fun to say VP at a bank, right? But what I'll say is now it's very much I have freedom. I'm not tied to a cubicle. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.